Hey guys, and welcome back to Asknikkip. I'm going to jump in to today's question. It says, "Hi Nikki, I am 15 and I go to a really small school. My grade consists of 35 people. I unfortunately have a tendency to get myself into drama because I try to make peace between everyone. After doing this in a recent drama uproar, I ended up losing all of my close friends and I found myself relating to a lot to my new best friend who is addicted to drugs. We are both dealing with horrible anxiety and depression, and she copes by using drugs. Right now, she is only smoking weed, but she has expressed to me that she really wants to try coke, meth, salvia, shrooms, etc. She claims that she knows what she is doing and that she won't get addicted, but I am positive that she will get addicted. Because of my history of drama and some other things I have said that have landed me in the principal's office, the principal does not trust me, but my friend is very, very close to him. I want to talk to the principal about getting her help, although I do not think it is my place, nor do I think he will trust that I am telling the truth. This is a very disturbing situation for me because I want to help my friend out by getting her help, but because of my past record, no one will trust me. Please let me know your thoughts on how I should go about getting her help. I know she will probably hate me and quit being my friend, but I can't watch her turn into a bigger addict because I know she has a bright future ahead of her." Alrighty, so here's the thing. First off, adults, principals, teachers, counselors, while a lot of times in videos I say to go to them if there's an issue, because I think that they tend to be like safer adults. That's their job. They deal with that. It does not mean that they just know what is always right. It doesn't mean that they're just like on their A game and perfect. I mean, it's just like the same thing with parents. Like we look at parents as like my parents, but it doesn't mean they're perfect people. They're just grown-ups. I mean, I had that situation when I was in school. I had some really bad teachers. Thus the reason I left school. People that were verbally abusive, people that I would say were borderline physically abusive. And, you know, I was in trouble and in the principal's office a lot in school, and I was not a bad kid, but I was kind of taken as a bad kid for talking too much and being too, like, high-spirited. So, that being said, drugs are very dangerous, and I would recommend going to the principal. I would recommend going to the principal and telling him, like, hey, I'm telling you this in confidentiality. You don't have to do anything with this. I know I don't have the greatest track record, but I'm telling you the truth. And if you don't want to do anything with this, it's totally fine. I just don't know what to do with this. But my friend, Jane Doe, you know, whatever her name is, she is heavily into weed. And she has told me that she wants to get into coke and meth and all these other things. So she hasn't done it yet. You know, so there's no need to be alarmed in that aspect. But I wanted to give you a heads up. It's not the most healthy relationship. I am planning on putting some distance between us. I don't know. You don't even necessarily have to say that. I'm just kind of running my mouth. But I wanted you to be aware because I obviously can't save her. I can't make her do something. But I just wanted an adult, a safe adult, to know. It's not your responsibility what he does with that information. And if you tell him, I'm telling you this in confidentiality, he should keep it confidential. It doesn't mean he necessarily will. You have to be prepared that he might not. But, you know, yeah, I would still recommend telling an adult because this is a health and safety issue. The other option I was going to say is waiting until she actually does anything like that, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good option. And the other thing I was going to say is putting distance between you and this friend would not be a bad idea because they say that you are an average of like the 5 people that you hang out with, that you surround yourself with. And so if you're struggling with anxiety and you are surrounded with someone primarily who's dealing with that anxiety by drugs, that is probably the way that you're going to end up dealing with that anxiety as well. Doesn't mean you're destined, no one's holding a gun to your head, but it's just the chances are more likely. You know, it doesn't have to be this big dramatic, like, I'm not talking to you anymore. One good thing would be to make your life a little more busy, whether it means getting involved. I always tell people, like, getting involved in a local church, I think is an awesome thing to do because plugging into a community of people, there's still people, no one is perfect, so do not, to everyone out there, if you get involved in church and you're like, these people are a mess or they're still doing this, there's still people. People at church are still people who are still going to mess things up, who are still going to get things wrong, who are still going to do bad things. But if they're going to church, I think in general, it means that they're people that are trying to do better. And it doesn't mean that people who aren't going to church aren't trying to get better, but it just kind of sets this scheduled time to come together with a group of other people who are trying to do better and to gives you time to talk about trying to do better. Sometimes that's a little awkward. Like, I honestly think everybody is trying their best and trying to do better, but you're not necessarily sitting down with everyone else in life and going, all right, guys, let's read from this book that talks about, morals and how to cope with anxiety and pressure and how to, be a good daughter or wife or husband or friend. And the church setting does just that. So I know I talk about church a lot, like find a good church, but I think that that's a good place to find friends, and then you find people, you have a chance of finding people who are kind of in the same boat as you, like trying to find healthy ways to cope with anxiety or depression or just pressure of life. And the busier you get, the easier it gets to distance yourself, because then you're not lying when you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't hang out, I'm really busy. And if she's like, what? When did you get all busy? If you're really busy, like, what is she going to say? Like that, what I just said, like, what, when did you get all busy? It's like, sorry, I decided I really wanted to get involved in these clubs or this church. And because then you genuinely are. But if you're just putting distance, I think that can cause more drama, because it's like, dude, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, why aren't you returning my calls? Like, what's going on? But if you're genuinely making forward movement to improve your life and to deal with your anxiety in healthy ways and be around positive people, you're not lying. You know what I mean? You're just genuinely trying to move your life forward. So that's just my thoughts. I want your guys' thoughts, as always, in the comments. If you feel like you have a different opinion or the exact same opinion or feedback, or you've gone through this type of thing, let us know. So, all right, good luck with that, because that's hard. And I know, I tend to be like the peacemaker of the group. Literally. I actually literally have a situation that fairly recently happened where I brought like a group of friends who were not friends anymore back together. Because I know. I don't even know what the point of that was. I just was thinking out loud. So the Twitter question says, if you could be any one of the Avengers, regardless of gender, who would it be? I think I know what the Avengers are. And I think my answer is Iron Man. But that's strictly because I love Robert Downey Jr. so much. So really, I would just want to be Robert Downey Jr. I love him. I've had a crush on Robert Downey Jr. since I was like 9. And I remember my mom thought that was creepy. She was like, honey, he's like an old man, like an adult. And I was like, I just love him. I've loved him forever. So that's the answer to that question. Send your messages and questions to asknikkip@gmail.com or use the hashtag asknikkip, and I will see you all soon. Adios, amigos.
You feel